What's up? It's Alec here at Soulful Guitar Lessons. Today we're going to learn about 2-5-1s, why we care about them, and how to implement them into your playing. So grab your guitar and let's go. So 2-5-1s. Why are we talking about it? Why is everyone always talking about 2-5-1s? Why do we care about 2-5-1s? And the answer is that in every style of music, from jazz to pop music, they're always being used. Whether or not you know it, they're always being used. So today we're going to talk about how to use these 2-5-1s on the guitar, what's going on harmonically, and some songs that they come from and that you can implement them in. I went to summer camp for jazz, super nerdy, I know, and it was, maybe a couple days, 5 days, and one of the big things they talked about, this is when I was a little bit younger, maybe in 7th or 8th grade. It was in Wisconsin. And one of the things they talked about was 2-5-1s, and I was always curious, why 2-5-1s? How do you break it down? And for my kid brain, I was just having a hard time grasping these concepts. And something that they told me that stood out was like, okay, basically you have, let's say we're in the key of C. C major. We're going to have our D note, that's our 2, our G note, which is our 5, and our C note, which is our 1. Why these numbers? How do we arrive at these numbers? Well, if we're just playing a C major scale, C is the 1, D is the 2, G is the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's where the numbers are coming from. 2-5-1. Okay, that's all fine and good. So instead of playing these big chords, my instructor was saying, okay, well, instead of playing this, maybe just take the 3, which is we're gonna have our root, our 3, and our 7. So that would be our root. Okay. That's good. Our 3, which is an F, and our 7, which is here. So it sounds like this. Now, if we rearrange some of this stuff and put this in the lower octave, it would sound like this. Okay. So now I'm starting to hear, and I hope you are too, what's going on. It's called the shell voicing, very minimal. There's no extra colors on top. There's no dominant, flat, whatever, it's just the chord. And I said, okay, cool, let's go to the 5 chord, okay? And if we have this big old chord right here, right, this, and the instructor said, okay, well, strip away all the extra notes, right? And just take the root, the 3, and the flat 7. Well, all right, that sounds pretty good. So it sounds like this. Huh. Okay, so what happens when we play this chord to this chord? Okay. What notes are changing? Well, I noticed that this note is going down a half step, right? Okay, that's pretty cool. And then this note's staying the same. All right. That's I don't know, that's something. And then this note, the root is just changing. So if we have our shell, it sounds like this. Okay, I'm starting to hear what's going on. So, and then if we add our roots back in, cool. And then if we go back, and then we want to land at the 1. So we did our 2-5, and then where's our 1? Okay, our 1 is here. So what's happening here? So instead of playing this big chord, let's just have our root, our 3, and our 7. That sounds good, but I want to rearrange this note and have it in the lower octave. So I'm going to have it down here. Okay, so this is our minimal shape. All right, so here's what's happening. Okay, let's even take away the roots. Let's just hear what's going on with the upper structures. So this is what's so interesting, is that we're having one note move at a time. So this is our 2, 5. Okay, see how this B went down to a C? Or see how this C went down to a B? And then we have our 1. And then this note just went down a half step. So we have this movement. Okay. Now let's add our roots back in. Okay. So by now you should be hearing a little bit. You may or may not understand what's happening, but you're hearing the movement and the motion of what's happening in a 2-5-1. And why do we care about this? Like, what songs uses? Do jazz songs use it? Do blues songs use it? And the answer is literally every genre uses it. Every single genre, from pop, you know, like Sunday morning rain is falling, right? To Stevie Wonder, you know, I feel like this is the beginning, you know, you are the sunshine of my life. All right, great. Well, also jazz songs use it, you know, at the end of a blues, you might say, and there's this little, there's this motion, and it's always coming up in music. So it was just one of those things that I never really understood until somebody broke it down in like the most minimal possible way. You know? Now, as a guitar player, you can play these voicings. You don't even need the root because, you know, if you're lucky enough to be playing with a bass player or another guitar player, that person could cover that. So literally, you could just be playing. Cool. Instead of. You know, it's a little more minimal. And since I'm playing all alone here in the, you know, my studio, it's gonna sound more full when you play these chords. But if you're playing with a big ensemble, you know, drums, bass, guitar, saxophone, whatever, the more minimal voicings you have, it might work better, you know? And yeah, it's just one of those things that is a tricky subject, but I'm hoping that this breaks it down a little bit and like lifts the veil off and be like, oh, it's 2-5-1, I don't understand that. That's like for music theory nerds. Yes, but also you should kind of know about it a little bit, just because this stuff comes up in every genre. And I think it's really, really useful. Like, knowledge is power. I've talked about this in a couple of my YouTube shorts. Like, the more you know, the better. And, you know, as we're exploring this 2-5-1 stuff, you know, we can play lead lines that outline these chords, right? We could, and the most powerful movement is when we're following the motion of the chord. So, like, if we can make a line that resolves from da da, you know, so if we're playing da 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 da, right? That would sound appealing in like the most stripped down version of this whole thing, right? Because we're trying to capture the movement. So I would say, okay, da, 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 right? Because we're trying to follow the motion of the chord. So say we have a line. We're just going to make a line with that resolves going from here to here. So, okay, that's the key motion. Yeah. 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 Right? All of a sudden, we can play these chords and lines almost at the same time. This is going to take a bit. Like, you might need to rewind this and watch some of these excerpts again from this video, but I'm trying to break it down in the most simple way and how it was taught to me at this like camp. Really, I hope it does the same thing for you as it did for me. It's just like, whoa, an aha moment. Like, strip away all these big, fancy, you know, chords and just make it as simple as possible. And yeah, I think it's so awesome and so powerful to just know this information. And we can go into the lines and exploring some lead lines over it, because that's a whole different topic. But I'd say for now, if you can practice just getting this motion and then just doing it in a different position, right? So up here. And you can do it all over, you know, you could do it up here, you get it. So like the more positions you know it in, the better, so you don't feel like, oh, I have to play 2-5-1s right here, like I'm locked into it. Yeah, I think that'll be extremely helpful and useful for everyone. So thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, I will see you guys soon. Take care.